Hey, what's going on? This is Smudges. Daring today, aren't we? We're playing stat stacking Pillar of the Caged God, Hoa Gemling. Uh, it's the most popular build in the game, but I don't know. I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun. Clearing the screen is really cool, even if it's like everyone's doing it. So yeah, I thought I'd just show off my build. It's not the best. Like obviously, I can invest way more in this. Uh, and it would be way stronger, but I don't have that much money. So we're just gonna run this T16 boss, T18, what is this? Not this one. Yeah, we're gonna run this T18 boss, and hopefully I don't shit myself. It's a little showcase, and then we'll just talk about the build afterwards, probably. So, any second now. Any second now. Holy shit, that took a long time. Yeah, so the first kill is the hardest. You just gotta get charged staff up. But then once you do this, once you just get... There you go. Turn on charged staff. And here we go. I don't know why my effects aren't showing up. Or why the fucking strongbox is invisible. That's not supposed to happen. But okay, there we go. Finally decided to load in. Way. Doesn't really matter. Oh, okay. So yeah, you literally just hold down the attack button and do this. Ooh! Don't get stuck on that guy, please. Thank you. The build doesn't have too many mana problems. I have a lot of mana regen. I'll talk about it later. Like, this is just the showcase. Like, yeah, I can blow up the screen. Wow. I can do it. Hopefully the boss doesn't just like shit my ass, you know? Hey. Oh, the boss is right here. Oh, whoops. Okay, let's go. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't have done the boss during Delirium. Like, yeah, there we go. It's not so bad. Oh, I forgot about these guys. Oh shit. Okay, sorry, let me finish up my Delirium, because, like, I kind of want to... fuck. Nah, I wasted it. Okay. Well, at least there's that. Okay. Hey, okay. So that showcase was pretty bad. I did kill the boss, but I died instantly afterwards to some on-death bullshit. But I'll talk about it. So I guess we'll go over the skills first, because that's what the build does. So we use Tempest Flurry. Doesn't need to be qualityed. It's nice, but not necessary. And we're just using, the most important thing is Martial Tempo, because that's more attack speed. Like, we just need as much attack speed as possible. So Martial Tempo is really good. Rage I like, because Rage is more damage, which means it's multiplicative. Anything that says more is really good. Anything that says less is really bad. So yeah, so 3 Rage on hit, pretty good. My attack speed's so high, we stack this up like instantly. That's just way more damage. Execute, this says more damage against enemies that are low on life, so that's pretty good. Accuracy rating, this can be replaced with something else, like if you want to use like lightning penetration or like lightning infusion, or I'm using those elsewhere in the build, but this can be like whatever you want. But I like Bullseye because this build benefits a lot from accuracy. I've spec'd into stuff that gives you attack speed based on accuracy, so this is more attack speed. And the last one is Crescendo, because the last hit does the most damage, so doing it twice in a row is pretty good. I'm sure there's something else you can slot in here, but not necessary. You can even 4-link it if you want. It's not a huge deal. Charge Staff also doesn't need to be qualityed, but it is very nice just not having to fucking press the button as often, which is why I have persistence in here, so I don't have to press the button as often. Penetrates lightning resistance. I just needed this somewhere in the build, so I put it on here. I don't know if it's the best right here, but yeah, I mean, it's more damage. Electrocute. Supported skills cannot shock. I'm using the 3 dragons, so my lightning damage doesn't shock anyway. And charge staff doesn't do cold damage or fire damage, so it's not like I'm losing shock. So this basically just reads charge staff can electrocute, build up electrocute for free, so that's really good. And culling strike culls enemies, which is also good. We're using herald chains. I think it's so fucking cool, but like this shit has to get nerfed, right? But yeah, so we're using the 3 dragons tech. Usually the way this works is you stack cold damage on thunder, lightning damage on ice, and then they chain off each other. The frozen guy explodes, calling a lightning bolt, which freezes them, which explodes them, which calls a lightning bolt. So, but we're using the 3 dragons, which like rotates the triangle of elements a little bit. So, but I think it's cool because what happens is now we don't have to fuck our Herald of Thunder damage by putting cold infusion on it. So we get the full damage out of Herald of Thunder, which is nice. And so that part's really nice. We just put, extra damage is lightning, less damage is cold and fire. We don't care. This is just a straight up upside. Killing a shocked enemy with this, there, you get more damage. That's good. Do more damage the further away from you. The way the chains work is like you freeze a guy and they explode, and then the guys far away from them get shocked by or get hit by lightning bolts. So long shot is like clearing guys off screen. Like Herald of Thunder is killing guys off screen basically. So long shot's really good. And magnified effect is more AoE. I would probably put this on Herald of Ice if I had a 5 link, but whatever. It works here too. And then Herald of Ice needs to do fire damage now because we're doing 3 dragons. So we've got fire infusion, and I'll talk about the passive tree in a bit, but we are using a really shitty against the darkness. This is like a 3%. Like this basically only provides the 3% extra damage as fire. We've got 4 notables in here, so we are getting 12% extra damage as fire, which in combination with fire infusion is like just enough. Fire infusion does lower our damage overall. Like you'll see we get 4,000 more damage, 3,000 more damage, but it like triples the amount of fire damage we do specifically, which is important to proc shock so that we can proc Herald of Thunder. So you have to do it this way. But the good news is that unlike normal, you don't have to run cold infusion on Herald of Thunder, so you're not losing damage on this one, only this one. That's pretty cool. And to make up for it, we just stack all the damage we can on Herald of Ice. So we've got Primal Armament, we've got, we just put Primal Armament on here. And then to make it even easier to shock, we've got Coursing Current, shocks more guys, double shock chance. That's pretty good. So yeah. These 2 are probably priority for quality because quality on Herald of Ice is more AoE, which helps proc it more, and quality on Herald of Thunder is more attacks get the lightning bolt, which helps you proc it more often, so probably really good. Tempest Bell is your single target damage. Quality is really important on this one too because you get more hits, and that's really good. Otherwise, you would just run like, I guess, overabundance, so you could get 2 bells down, and then you just be hitting it a lot more often. But I would do that if I had a 5 link, but I don't. And then other than that, it's our single target DPS, so we're just boosting the shit out of the damage. So we've got Conk Effect, 40% more damage, more is better. Rage Forged, because we attack so fast and we're hitting the boss with Tempest Flurry, this is our main skill, we just always have Rage, especially on boss fights, so 35% more damage, that's really, really strong. And then The last two are, it's like an interaction between Three Dragons and Tempest Bell. Yeah, so our Tempest Bell, like, the way that it works is a little weird. I forget exactly, but basically you hit the bell with like your 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 lightning, but because you have Three Dragons, it's like converted to frost, and then the bell is on fire, and then the bell does fire damage so that it uh procs your procs shock. So yeah, having lightning exposure and overcharge is really strong on bosses because you just get a more powerful shock and you inflict lightning exposure. So that's good. Hand of Chayula is also single target DPS. Actually, the rest of the skills are just single target DPS. So yeah, Hand of Chayula, it's fun mobility. You just teleport at a guy. Try not to teleport into an on-death effect or into a fucking magma barrier or some shit. And you just put conductivity, voltaic mark, makes it easier to shock, reduces their resistance, so you do more damage. Heightened curse, more curse effect, so more damage basically. And Eye of Winter, I would love to use like cast on crit with this or something. Cast on crit, cast on freeze, but I don't have enough spirit, so we're just raw dogging it. We use Unleash so that we can shoot out two of them. And the reason we're using Eye of Winter is because it doesn't even say in this yellow text, but like it's literally just like a hidden line straight in the middle. Critical weakness stacks up to 20 times, and this critical weakness is like base crit. So with my pillar, it's like 10%. Then they're critically weak, so then it's like 20% base crit, and my crit like chance is like really high. So like your critical multiplier gets, this flat number gets multiplied by your 60% increased critical hit chance. So 20%, 10% times 60 is like way less than 20% times 60. Like the difference is fucking huge. So yeah, increased base critical hit, probably extremely strong. Like it's so strong that it's like a fucking node all the way over here. Attacks have 1% base critical hit chance. I don't know, like Eye of Winter gives me 10 times that amount. I just have to shit it out. Like I just shit this at the boss and it works. So we use Ricochet so it bounces off terrain, so it hits them more often. We use Chain so that it chains off of things and hits them more often. And yeah, we just instantly stack the crit chance on them, and then we dump damage into them. So yeah. And then Charge Staff requires power charges. We don't have anything that generates power charges. We are cheating. We're using Resonance to turn Frenzy charges into power charges. And then we use Combat Frenzy to get Frenzy charges anytime we freeze or electrocute a guy. So we obviously freeze guys all the time because we're using Three Dragons and we do only lightning damage. So enemies always get frozen. And on bosses, we have Charge Staff with Electrocute, so you can still build up an emergency charge in a boss fight in case you didn't have it. I think that's pretty cool. And then the rest of the stuff on this is just like Cannibalism, Life on Kill is very important. Precision, again, we turn accuracy into attack speed, so this is just attack speed. Yeah, and then we use Wind Dancer as our last defensive layer, just because I'm an evasion character. We just use Wind Wave to knock them back further. We use Maim and we just use Maim and Blind to debuff them if I get hit, so that it's a little more safety. This is just safety Wind Dancer, And quality on Wind Dancer is also good because it gives you one extra stage. You don't need to boost it to 20% quality to get the one stage. And I have 34% increased quality, and I'm only getting one extra stage. So yeah. You don't need a quality all the way, just enough to get 4 stacks instead of 3. It's a really big difference. So yeah. And that's it for the skills. So I already showed off the tree kind of. It's a big, it just looks like shit. But we just come down here, we take all the attribute nodes. That's just what you do as this character. You can come over here because reduce crit damage bonus is kind of nice. This is just stats and it's really close. I like Adrenaline Rush, but move speed really isn't that important on this character because, like, when you attack, you just move really fast. You attack so fast that you don't need move speed, and the faster your attack speed, the faster you move. It's crazy. So it might not be necessary, but I like it. Especially since I'm not hitting like the soft cap of like, what is it, 30 attacks per second. I think I'm at like 11 right now. Yeah. So you just come down here. Obviously this is like a must take for this class, just like more attributes, tons of attributes, and this is a decent place to put your Against the Darkness, because there's like 4 nodes here, so you get extra damage as fire. That really, this is like necessary. A fire infusion isn't enough on Herald Device to do enough fire damage. Getting 12% fire damage out of this gem, up to 16% if you get like a good roll, is very valuable. Lightning Rod, this is like a crazy good node. I mean, it's like a double isolation and still, or right? So, I mean, it's got to be good. Even though I'm spec'd into crits a little bit, so I guess I'm technically losing a little bit of value, this is just like a massive average damage increase. Penetrating lightning damage is good. Increased shock chance is good because you don't do that much fire damage, so just any shock chance increase is good. This is like a pretty good amount, and it's really close, so I'll take it. Falcon Dive, this is part of your attack speed setup. We're like quadruple dipping on dexterity. So yeah, like we just come up here because we got so much dexterity. We just want more dexterity. We have more dexterity. Falcon technique. This is like this is the quadruple dip. So like we have Pillar of the Caged God, which is attack speed for dexterity. We have Hands of Wisdom in Action, which is attack speed for dexterity. We've got Falcon Technique, which is attack speed for dexterity. Dexterity is accuracy, so we get attack speed for accuracy. So yeah, we just get like an absolute fuck ton of attack speed just for like dexterity. It's very nice. I'm speccing into crit because at least Path, like I did some testing with Path of Builder, and my shock chance goes up quite a bit if I spec into crit, and so does it's because my average damage per hit goes up with my like getting a crit like really helps proc an ailment, basically proc shock. So yeah, getting crit chance is good. I didn't take this one because this one's critical damage bonus versus crit chance, just a thing, and like this one is 15% increased damage bonus. This one is 20% bonus for attacks, and I'm only doing attacks. I don't cast spells, so like go around this way instead of taking this one and avoiding this way. Anyway, that's like a tiny optimization. This node is fucking huge because this is dexterity and crits and accuracy, so that's like a lot of attack speed and crits. More maximum lightning damage is really good. Just like more damage, and you combine this with like lightning rod, that's like way more damage. We come down here, gotta take resonance so that we can generate power charges without having to fuck with like killing palm. That shit's bad. And obviously for the jugular and true strike are like increased crit chance and crit damage and stats, which we care about, so it's very nice. And it's close to this thing. This would ideally be another place for your Against the Darkness, but I'll talk about it in a second. Careful Assassin is good because it's a lot of crit chance, and we take Ingenuity because it's like a lot of int. And there's stuff over here you would kind of still want, like if you had way more points than me. And I guess speaking of, I guess we'll start talking about items. So I'm using a Pillar of the Caged God. I gave my old one away. I only just upgraded to this one. My old one was literally a nothing corrupt. It was a 10% increased weapon damage one with 2 sockets on it, and I like qualityed it up. It's like 1 Exalt on the market. I only just upgraded this one for 1 Divine is a 12% corrupt with increased attack speed, like the runes, so the soul cores. So yeah, definitely not expensive. You can definitely reach this point without spending a fucking divine on this stick. Uh, the real expensive part is Hands of Wisdom in Action. Like this is the mandatory keystone item of the build. Build just basically doesn't function without it. Like the extra lightning damage is just huge. The extra attack speed is just huge. This one is also a nothing corrupt. I got this one for like one divine, 1.5 divine, like a few weeks ago. So yeah, this is probably the majority of like the budget build. Like you can buy in for like 2.5 divine. The rest of my equipment was like less than like 200x like in total. I think it was like 50x for this amulet, maybe like 30 40x for each of these rings. Got these boots for like 20x, got this chest plate for like 30x, got this belt for like 40x. So yeah, it's like maybe 3 divines total. This hat I got for super cheap as well. Actually, not this particular one. I was using one that had like 2 sockets corrupted, and I happened to pick up another and corrupt it with extra spirit so that I could get some stuff. Get like use more of those like auras like cannibalism. And yeah, so that's the majority of the build. Like this gloves is the most expensive part. These are fairly cheap, like just regular equipment. The staff is one of the most common uniques in the game. You can pick up like a normal one for like literally 1 exalt. You don't have to go this hard. And yeah, that's the build. I mean, my character is sitting at like almost all resistances. I was capped. This hat loses like 4%. This hat loses a little bit of elemental resistance, which is why I'm not capped anymore. But yeah. And for yeah, so that I mean that's it. This is the budget version of the build. This is what I've been doing. If I had more money, there's a lot of changes I would make. Obviously, the chase item is Astrum. Yeah, obviously the chase item is Astromenace. Last thing, on my amulet, I anointed Blurred Motion because it's cheap. Yeah, because it's cheap. There's extra attack speed, which is attack speed. Extra accuracy, which is attack speed. Extra dexterity, which is attack speed. So I just get a lot of attack speed out of this. The other thing you could consider doing is like Pure Power, which is really strong. Yeah, okay. So then upgrades. Obviously, Astromenace. Like it's like so expensive. There's just no way. I'm not gonna be able to afford that. So I just got like Baby Astra that has like stats and rarity on it. I would obviously rings. You would just want breach rings that have like a fucking Morbillion stats on them. Maybe one of your rings is like a mirror so that you can just have one ring. And then obviously you want an Ingenuity belt to get more effect out of your rings. It's just like a really easy way to stack a fucking insane amount of stats. But like an 80% plus roll Ingenuity is like so expensive for me. Like I can't. I don't know. So I don't have it. And then your chest plate would be replaced by Warrior Invictus. This one is not the one that you're looking for. You want one that says increased attributes, and mine says increased life. So I just felt like showing this one off because I got like a super good deal on it. I'll probably still use it as soon as I can. The problem is like equipping it means I have to respec everything. Like I need to find a new source of spirit. I need to find new rings and an amulet, new belts, new boots. So, but once I am able, like, equipping a Warrior Invictus that says attributes, equipping a Warrior Invictus that says elemental res, that's your goal. A 4-slot one's way cheaper than a 5-slot one, but if it says attributes resistance on it, even a shitty roll 4-socket one is gonna run you like 20 div. I just don't have it. Yeah, and then for your passive tree, the chase upgrade would be to get a From Nothing diamond that has resonance on it. So like it gives you a ring around resonance, and that would just be fucking insane because you would get spaghettification, which is 7% increased all attributes and movement speed. Like that's just crazy. That's like perfect for the build. You would also be able to take Forward the Jugular and True Strike for free without having to path up here. Like without having to, so you would save like 3 extra passive points, which is pretty value, and it would turn into a great spot for your From Nothing diamond. You would put it in here instead, and then you would be able to get 1, 2, 3, and then 4. If you like, you could also spec this one. It doesn't do anything for your build, but technically it would contribute to your From Nothing. Yeah, so that would save you 3 passive points. That would be really huge. The problem is, I think like a From Nothing Resonance is like 200 div, so I don't have that. That's you know. So yeah, that's the build. We just come all the way up here. We take this. Like ideally, you would want, maybe if I had more points, I would take Pure Power. Oh, if I had more points, I would take. I used to spec into Lucidity, and then I had like an Anoint for Mental Perseverance, so I would like boost my effective HP by like 20%, which was very nice. I spec'd out of it, but like I can, at least at this like budget build at this price point, like I can really feel the 20% less fucking durability. So, you know, maybe that's something to consider. And then last thing for the Ascendancy, you just, I mean, obviously you take Enhanced Effectiveness is just necessary. And then I've seen some people take skill slots and then increased max resistances, which is really nice. But I started running into mana issues, and I didn't have like the rings to fix it. I didn't have anything to fix it. So I took 10% increased quality, which is nice, and then 30% less skill costs. And obviously the attribute requirements don't fucking matter because you're stat stacking. So this just helps you with mana issues. And yeah, I think that's the build. I would say pretty good for like a 2 div, 2.5 div buy-in. Like I've been running nothing but like T16, T17, T18 maps. So yeah, feels pretty good.